3, 2, 1.
Wow, we're doing this now? Already?
Get your mic get your face in there, brother.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What the hell? Did you bring me a cigar?
Yes.
Did you bring a cutter?
Yes.
Did you bring a lighter?
Yes.
Good. I don't have
What
an
did you
ash.
expect? No ashtray.
Well, we got this one.
Oh, that's a good ashtray. Davidoff ashtray.
Davidoff ashtray.
I have actually fallen in love with this cigar.
What is it?
It is the Casa Turant 1880 Edition Limitada.
Ooh, sounds good.
They are very tasty. I have to get
Pull
close
your
to
chair in. I want your face close to this mic this time. I want to get the sound well. I don't want to hear the fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Something like this.
Yeah. Something like that.
Kind of reminds me when I was in radio.
Yes, you got to talk into the mic real
Yes.
low and sexy.
Well, that's what they called it back then. They called it a microphone. They meant something else.
God, I'm lost. I have no idea
That's
what
okay.
you're talking
That's
about.
okay.
So, Blaine, you want to do another podcast? This is good. I'm glad.
I do.
You're pushing me. We only have 45 minutes of video. We're going to do a short, and then we're going to redo another one in a week. Yeah. What do you think?
That sounds good.
We're working with what we've got here.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in some cases, that's
And
just
less than
not
what we've
a lot.
got. Yeah, exactly. So what's irking you, brother? What's driving you nuts?
Carbon tax.
Okay.
Bloody carbon tax. I read this morning
Okay.
that they're actually going to instill another tax
Yes.
called, I'm going to look this up. We'll get Guido to look this up so that he can tell me exactly what it is. It's called the CFR. It is the Clean Fuel Regulations.
Oh, God.
They're adding another carbon tax to liquid fossil fuels.
Okay.
So they're going to be increasing the amount of the cost of a liter of gas by 17 cents. By 2030, the carbon tax and this one are going to be 54 cents in taxes for these two. 54 cents. The federal government even admits that this new one is going to highly affect low-income families.
Yeah, there is some sort of a carbon tax rebate for low-income families. However, it's not enough to cover all of the carbon tax.
Well, it's not enough. Also, this one is not coming with a rebate.
Oh. Leave it to the government to tax the poor.
Like, I don't understand.
Right? I don't either.
Like, you're freely admitting that you're going to disproportionately tax the lower income families.
I mean, honestly, do you think... nice Goodfellas lighter. Do you actually...
Available at Goodfellas Cigar Store for $79.95.
I mean,
no fuel tax.
Do you actually think that the carbon tax is hurting rich families?
No, they just absorb it.
They don't care. They just spend the money. They've got lots.
Yeah.
They don't spend everything they make. But low-income families spend every penny they make. Like, they have no savings. They're basically missing one paycheck away from being bankrupt.
And it used to be two paychecks. Two paychecks away from living
I'm not
on the
sure
street.
about the one paycheck.
But now I agree with you.
It's close. It's
very
tight
close.
now. I mean, let's put it this way. Most families can't come up with $1,000 if they had an emergency.
No.
Not cash anyway. They would have to put it on their credit card or borrow it or something.
If they could get a credit card.
If they have a credit card. Yeah, I would imagine most families that are working have credit.
One would
hope,
hope.
right? Like, if your car breaks down, you need to spend a couple grand on it. They're going to be able to get that credit, but you're going to need some more fire there. But
I would have more fire if I had a lighter. Oh, look.
Shut up.
A lighter.
But yeah, they would have to finance it.
Yeah, and so I know somebody who
Cigar smells really good.
They are really
Yeah.
Like, this is a cigar that like some people say they still have taste after 20 minutes or so. I can still taste this cigar an hour after finishing it.
See,
it's
I
oily.
don't really like that.
Oh, it's
I don't like
wait
the
till you get
aftertaste.
the flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Okay.
flavor is wonderful.
Okay.
It's like honey.
Why am I so much closer to the microphone than you?
Because you have a smaller tummy than I do.
Oh shit! Fuck you.
You do. I mean, come on. Okay. Oh, wait. That might be. Let me move.
My chest dimensions are still not bigger than my midriff dimensions.
Oh.
That's a problem. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's better. That's better. Now you're cooking.
I got a little big.
Well, I worry about this stupid exhaust fan. I actually have some foam that I wanna build like this thing that goes around it.
Okay.
To kind of like a muffler, to sound deaden it.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that would be.
But then wouldn't you have to like clean the filter?
No, it'll just be like 4 sides, but totally open, just like to kind of capture some of that sound until. Damn. Work, they're slacking us. I know, right? Yeah, so carbon tax is a problem. So like I'm not anti-tax. A lot of people think I might be because I own a business or something, but I'm not. I'm absolutely not anti-tax. I'm anti-waste of tax and of tax dollars, right?
Yes.
I pisses me off when what I see and what I perceive as the government wasting my tax dollars. Everyone says stuff like tax the rich. Why?
We should tax everybody.
No, but even let's just say you're taxing the rich. Why? What would we do with that money? Has the government's track record been so good that if you gave them another 10, 20, 30, $100 billion a year, they're going to all of a sudden go, let's do something good. Let's fight homelessness and mental illness in Canada and give the First Nations clean water. Is it all of a sudden going to be like, holy shit, we got $100 billion. Let's do all these great things for our... No. They're going to fucking steal it, waste it, send it to other countries, send military, put it into the military industrial complex and piss it away on fighting wars that have nothing to do with us. So I do not trust the government. I do not trust them. I do not trust them with my money. The best thing they could do is tax us less and let us keep our own fucking money. They show their incompetence day in and day out.
I mean, if people had the choice to say, okay, Canadians, we'd like to send some money to the Ukraine.
Sure.
Could we all agree on $10 per person working?
Okay.
Just that.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that Canadians, as Canadian as we are, would go, yeah, sure.
But I wouldn't. Now, let's just say, I think that's a reasonable request.
I think so.
But if they're sending it in the form of tanks and armor and machines, killing machines, I'm not in. I'm not in.
Because that's there's a term for that.
It's a proxy war.
Yeah.
Is what's happening over there. It's a war between the Ukrainians and Russians, and the West. NATO countries are funding Ukraine in a proxy war to weaken the Russians. It sounds all great and fine and dandy and all that, but we're putting the Ukrainian people through a meat grinder over there.
Yes.
The war needs to friggin' end.
Yeah.
It needs to end. How that happens, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to have the answers for that. But I think that's the outcome we need. It's been going over a year now, this war.
Yeah.
It needs to stop. People are getting killed daily. It needs to stop. On both sides, people are dying. And we can blame, one side or the other. I don't think it really matters who we blame. We need to stop the war.
Yes, we do.
Just need to stop the war.
That Slack is just
bouncing
off the wall.
I'm going to actually turn my phone right off.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't even know how to turn these damn phones off. I think it's this one. Okay, here we go.
Let's see if we can...
Yeah, so anyway, we digress. But so with the carbon tax, my whole thing is I'm fine paying carbon tax if they took the carbon tax and invested it in clean energy. But unless I'm like hugely missing something, I don't see any clean energy initiatives happening.
No.
Like I don't see anything.
No. And you take a look at what it takes to get or to build a storage battery for...
Well, I'm not even talking about batteries. I'm just saying clean energy as in like, how about some, whatever, like some more better hydro. Hydro's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, some wind power or some solar power. And you're absolutely right. Battery, rare earth and cobalt and lithium, they all come with their problems.
That's right.
They have huge problems. And like when you have a battery, it doesn't last forever either. So your clean energy isn't a permanent solution. It's not a one-time done solution. Solar panels lose a percentage a year. Batteries lose a percentage a year of storage. Solar panels will never work as well as they do on their first year. They just degrade. It has nothing to do with them getting covered in dirt. They just degrade. And they just don't give you as much power generation.
What I find interesting is that in order to replace a battery, like the battery life on some cars is like 15 years. And, okay, I can drive my car, and I've driven cars, for 30 years. They're 30 years old.
Yeah.
They do not cost you an extra $20,000 halfway through that lifespan.
No, they don't. My truck is a 97.
Yeah. So it's 26 years old.
Yeah.
And how much have you put into that?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
I have a car
hardly a darn thing. Tune-ups, oil changes, tires. But it's just the basic stuff.
If I had bought an electric car when I bought my current car, in 5 years, I would be looking at spending another $20,000 to replace the battery. In the 10 years I've owned that car, I have spent $2,000 on excess, fancy shooters. Look at those lovely glasses. Where'd you get those?
Good guy at work. Made them up. There you go. I don't know. I'm so ill prepared today, my friend.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, little gin. Cheers. Yeah, you're right. It's not feasible to ask car owners to put that much into their cars.
No, it's not.
Another thing that the electric car is doing is, you remember when you were young, and I was young, and all of us, you could go and buy a beater.
Yes, and have it run.
Yeah, that is a thing of the past if we go full electric.
Yes,
because there will be no $2,000 beater. The minimum beater car would be like 10 to 15 grand because just the batteries.
Just the batteries. Actually, somebody could conceivably give you a beater. That's the only way. Somebody gives you a beater electric car.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to put $15,000, $20,000 into it for a new battery.
Well, if you have an electric car, and it's 15 years old. Excuse me. Let's go back. If you have a car and it's 15 years old and you paid $50,000 for that car and it's 15 years old, what is that $50,000 car now worth? A regular car. Most of the time, probably 10 grand.
Yeah.
Now, if you have an electric car that's $50,000 and it's 10 years old, it's now worth
almost
zero. Because you have to put 10 grand into it just to bring it up to the $10,000 value. So that electric car is literally worth zero after however many years.
Right.
So to get that car, to keep that car, you have to spend 10 more grand on it. You have to spend the entire value of that car. So if you put those batteries into a 15-year-old electric car, the 10 grand you put in, that's all it's worth. The car itself is worth zero.
Yes, right. It's only worth the batteries.
It's only worth the batteries at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had a 21-year-old car that I rebuilt the engine in.
Yeah, sure.
Guess how much it cost me to rebuild that car, that engine?
If you did deliver yourself?
Oh, no. I had it done retail.
Oh. 4-cylinder? 8-cylinder?
383 4-barrel.
Okay. So, a couple grand, I'm thinking?
Yeah.
3 grand?
Exactly.
Yeah.
3 grand. I paid nothing. I paid $225 for the car. I put $3,000 into it. I sold it for $5,000.
That's what I was just going to say. But if you put the 3 grand into a new engine, I bet you that you would get your money out then some.
I did.
Yeah. But you won't with an electric.
No.
Now, I like electric cars. I think they're cool.
The idea.
The idea of an electric car is fantastic.
Oh, it's a great idea.
Yeah. But I like that they're fast and they're sporty and they're kind of fun and they got some neat features and I like it.
Yeah.
And for I think for in-town commuting, they're like a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. No-brainer. Like I think if my wife buys another car, if electric cars are available and affordable, we would seriously consider it because, I mean, she drives 20 kilometers a day, most days. I mean, to and from work. And if you throw a grocery shopping in there, we're lucky. We live like 500 meters from a grocery store, right? Maybe a kilometer. So very little driving on a daily basis. And then we have my car, which is gas. So say we're going on a cross-country road trip and it's a little more practical, we just take that.
Yeah.
But for the basics, like even if we're going to go visit our friends in like Shawnigan or Duncan, it's only an hour away. Electric car can do that, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. For most people, for day to day, electric is great. But the batteries, how do you get the life out of these cars?
So there's not only this, there's the effect that the draw on the power grid for electric vehicles.
Well, we don't have the capacity.
We
right
don't.
now. No.
Like we have, we've put the cart before the horse.
And the funny thing about electric cars too is you need fossil fuels to build them.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that a lot. And then if you've ever seen the pictures of the people mining the cobalt, oh, it's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful. It's slave labor. It's modern day slavery. It's awful.
Yeah.
Maybe though, with time, we'll have better technology. Maybe capacitors. We will get away from batteries. Maybe capacitors and I don't know, like some other way to store power.
Yes.
That will be safer or better or like
I don't
not safer, but like just more environment, like more scalable. You know, somehow create solar panels that will charge better.
Right. Or what we could have is an engine that produces hydrogen. I don't know the science.
I think
behind,
they're making that.
Right. If you have an engine that creates hydrogen.
Well, I think a hydrogen engine is still an internal combustion engine.
To a certain degree. And then you have a storage for it.
Well, it is exactly that. It just doesn't use petroleum products. It uses hydrogen. It's still, I'm sure, pistons and cylinders and
hydrogen is still an explosive gas.
Yeah. I mean, that might be the way to go. I'm surprised someone like Elon hasn't been exploring other things other than just electric like he is.
Yes.
So let's just say maybe one day, I don't know if this is possible, say maybe one day solar panels become so efficient that they can charge a battery from starlight. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretical, right? Then at that point, you hardly need any battery capacity in your electric vehicle, right? You would need no more battery capacity than you've got now in a car.
Here's an interesting thought from a science fiction reader. So I've heard Tesla referred to as a data company. Because what they're doing is they're mapping the states. Right?
Okay.
With all the people who are driving Teslas, they're mapping the states. So what's to say that in the future they take the most common routes and they have the self-driving cars with the line in the road. What's to say you don't put power in the road?
Yeah.
If you put power in the road, then you don't have to have a battery.
Yeah.
It's basically...
Or you have a very, very small battery.
Yeah, like a
to get you from the power line road to home.
Yes.
It costs you nothing. Just like a regular car battery that we have today.
It's like you drive on. It's basically like the old slot cars we had when we were kids.
Yeah.
You just drive on to the power grid.
It just hooks you up.
And it just hooks you up and you just go. That way, this whole dead battery or battery replacement thing just becomes pointless.
You will hardly need a battery.
You won't need the battery at all.
There's got to be something to get away from the batteries.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying with the solar panels. Like, if it's so good that anything will charge the battery, then you just need a regular small 12-volt battery like we have in a car now. But there's got to be something because we can't keep going with like 2,000 pounds worth of whatever it is, 1,000 pounds of batteries and these things. It's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Like how much horsepower do you lose just moving that battery?
Yeah,
just the battery.
Yeah.
I think that there's a long way to go before we can get away from fossil fuels.
Oh, for sure.
Unfortunately, I don't think, not in my lifetime, we will get away from using petroleum-based products. We won't.
They're so embedded in our day-to-day life, I just don't see how it's going to be possible.
No. And it has nothing to do with cars. It's just
everything.
The stuff
it's
we
everywhere.
use.
Plastic. Everything's covered in plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Neither
I don't
do
think we need as much plastic as we use.
No. We can definitely lower our usage of petroleum products.
Yeah.
Recyclable bags, even though they take hundreds of years to degrade.
They can make a better bag.
They can make a better bag.
They can make better packaging.
Well, what's a good example is the compostable bag.
Yeah.
So it's compostable. It's it's a one-use bag. But it's a one-use bag that decomposes.
It should decompose.
So what's wrong with using that?
Well, if it does what it says it's going to do, then nothing. If it actually does decompose and doesn't just degrade.
Oh, it decomposes.
Yeah, but I'm saying some things decompose. They say they decompose, but then like the plastics are there in a microscopic form. You can't see them, but they're still there. So if it actually decomposes into organic material again, not just degrades and you can't see it, but it's still there.
Okay,
that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
We don't want plastic in our food and water. It already is, but we don't want it. We want less.
We want yes.
Yeah. I've seen they're using all sorts of different types of packaging now, though, like cornstarch packaging, like bits, the styrofoam popcorn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They make that out of cornstarch.
Okay.
And apparently they got like fungus that they're growing for those big chunks of styrofoam that you get with a TV.
Yeah.
They're apparently growing them out of mushrooms. Mycelium.
Okay.
So they put mycelium in, and the mycelium grows in a mold, and they pop the mold off, and then you got this mycelium like full piece of packaging, and then you just fill it again, and it does it again. And so the mold, you keep filling the mold up, and it keeps creating product. And then the product you pull off, they bake it in an oven. So still going to use electricity or fuel to do that, but reduces the plastics.
Because there is
and then you just throw that in your compost.
Would be good.
It just rots. It's mycelium. It just rots.
Yeah.
It's organic. That'd be neat. So they're looking at different things, and hopefully we can get some stuff figured out. I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, I'm not a huge climate guy, but I do everything I think is right. Like I'm the recycling guy. I compost. I make sure all the paper and cardboard goes to the places it needs to go, and all the soft plastic. And because I think that the more we reduce pollution, the better we're going to be.
Yes.
Regardless of climate. Like even if you put climate and the climate debate aside, I think most people would be on the same page to reduce pollution, like pesticides, herbicides, shit that causes cancer. We
can get rid of that.
Yeah, I think it would be good if we could get rid of it, right?
What kills me is that the governments around the world have created an income out of nothing, and I refer to carbon tax credits.
Mm-hmm.
I hear all these ads about Canada wanting to become carbon neutral.
I thought we already were.
We're carbon negative.
Yeah.
In this country.
Yeah.
So we're selling our carbon credits to other countries.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
That's
That's
a made up thing.
Yeah. So we don't pollute, or we pollute less.
Much less.
So therefore, we have these carbon credits. So we're going to give them to another country, so that they can pollute. And the idea is but they're being punished because they're paying money to pollute.
Paying money to governments who don't know how to spend it.
Well, they're paying money to pollute, basically, because you're selling them your carbon credits.
So we, as Canadians, that's our carbon credit. Why don't those countries pay us as individuals?
Well, they pay the government. So if the government was doing its job, we should be taxed less.
That's right.
But the thing I find stupid about that is you're literally able to pay to pollute. If the reduction of pollution is the goal, and the reduction of greenhouse gases is the goal, you shouldn't be allowed to pay your way out of it.
That's right.
You shouldn't be able to pour toxic chemicals into a river and just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, here's some money." Or oh, how much does it cost me to dump it in the river? Oh, $100,000 a liter or a gallon or a barrel. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll just dump it in the river and just pay.
Yeah.
Because it still makes financial sense. Meanwhile, everyone downstream of the river dies, and the fish die, and everything else dies. So it doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be allowed to pay to pollute.
To buy your way out of trouble.
Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to.
Like the people who have means, who get a DUI, hire a good lawyer and get off, and then they get their license back and they go out and they kill somebody.
Yeah, I know it's too much It's too much opportunity to pay your way out of getting in trouble in every country, really.
Yep. Because every time that I've gotten into trouble, I've had to work my way out of it. I didn't have the money to just buy my way out of it.
Right.
I had to...
You had to do whatever it was necessary to do.
I had to pay for the...
Pay your debt to society, so to speak.
Debt to society, or pay for my own troubles.
Yeah.
Own up to my responsibility. Pay for it. I did something wrong.
You fucked
Therefore,
up. Yeah.
I have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like everything from people who, run out on their families. That made no sense. It's good gin.
Yeah. Well, people that run out on their families aren't paying.
No, they're not.
What they
just leave.
owe. They just leave. And that's cowardly.
Yep.
It's cowardly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because if you... Yeah, well, there are extenuating circumstances to almost every event in your life.
Yeah, sure.
Which will be an interesting thing to explore on a later episode.
Yeah. Perfect. Back to the carbon tax. I feel like the government of Canada right now is taxing this country so much that it's going to become unaffordable for the average person.
It is. It's living where we live is
living where we yeah.
That's it. It can't. You can't do it.
And my honest, non-asshole advice about living here is to a lot of people listening. If you're living in Victoria and you don't have anything really keeping you here, move.
Yeah.
Like, really, get out of here. Like, what are you doing?
Because it is...
I'm not being an asshole. I'm not saying, oh, if you can't hack it, leave. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, go. There's great spots everywhere.
Yep.
If you don't have your family here or your business here, if you have a government job, especially one that's transferable to another city, get the fuck out of Victoria.
Yep.
You will have a better life, and you'll have better opportunities. We just can't afford it here anymore. It's crazy.
What it costs when you have to make $78,000 a year gross to afford a one-bedroom apartment at $1,800.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, why hasn't... Like, I feel fantastic that the province limits raises in rent to, I believe it's 3%.
Well, it might even be less than that.
Which I agree. I think that's fantastic. But there's no... nothing in place to change when you buy my apartment building and raise the rent by 75%.
There is. No, there is. There is. You cannot evict a tenant because you're selling the building.
No, you
can't. That is illegal.
That's right.
So if I buy a house or apartment and has a tenant in it, I can't evict that tenant unless I'm going to do a renovation on it. That's called the renoviction. Or I'm going to move into it personally.
That's right.
Yeah. So there is ways to get people out in British Columbia. However, I feel like the root cause of the problem, maybe not the root cause, but a cause of the problem with housing is municipalities. Like at the municipal level, there's been far too much gatekeeping. Oh, that condo building's a good idea, but not in my neighborhood. Oh, that townhouse is a good idea, but not in my neighborhood. Oh, that affordable housing's a good idea, but not here. This isn't a good spot for it.
We used to call that NIMBYs.
It's some people still
not
say...
in my backyard.
Yeah. Some people still say NIMBY. It's gatekeeping. It's leave the communities the way they are. When you have growing populations, you can't leave your communities the way they are. You can't have 10 and 20,000 square foot lots in the city. Those lots should be cut down smaller. The houses should be attached in rows. There should be small apartments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to plan it out right. But municipalities need to get out of the way of developers and let them build. There could be problems with that idea. I don't know what they are, but
Well, here part of the problem.
I mean, some people don't like the builders make money, which, well, nobody works for free.
That's
Literally
right.
nobody works
Yeah.
for free. So a builder's going to put risk. He's going to put work. He's going to get rewarded if he succeeds. If he doesn't succeed, he's going to lose it all to the bank. So there is that. But if he succeeds, he should get paid. Just like all of the people that work on that building, they should all get paid as well. So I have no problem with people making money from building stuff because someone's got to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people say that you shouldn't be making money from housing. Well, if you believe that, then the government should take over. The government should build some buildings for no profit and see how that goes.
Yeah. See how long it takes to get built.
Yeah, see how long it takes to get built. See how much it actually costs. And, you know, and then they could knock 20% off because that's the builder's profit margin.
Right.
Take the 20% and, you know, but they still have to pay a manager to manage that building. They still have to pay someone to build it.
And they still have to pay maintenance.
Well, maintenance is after the fact, but you still have to pay, you know, a project manager during the build. You still have to pay contractors and
Yes.
you know, you still have to pay. So someone's got to pay something somewhere. Nothing's free.
So what I was getting at was an existing building. So I know of a building that a 2-bedroom apartment 4 years ago was $1,650.
Yes.
Great. Now, same building, it has been sold. The new rent on that apartment, like you said, provided somebody has moved out, is now $3,000.
Yeah. For a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom?
2-bedroom.
2-bedroom.
$3,000.
That's unbelievable,
Now,
isn't it?
how is that? There's only one reason that I can believe that that's necessary. And that's that the person who purchased the building got a mortgage on it. And mortgages, as everybody knows, are hideously expensive.
Yes.
Like, massively expensive. So if I bought that building for $50 million and my mortgage payment is $1 million.
$3,000 a month per unit, per door.
Exactly.
Then, yeah.
That's what it is. But that's because they are much like the gasoline companies. They want their money now. They don't want their money down the road. They could conceivably leave it at $2,000 per unit, which was what it was before a longer time.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want that. They want their money
paid out quick.
right, so that they could pay off their mortgage,
Yeah.
so they could pay less interest.
Well, real estate is becoming a bad investment. It's like, so if someone's out there looking to buy a house or a condo to rent, you are underwater on that building in this market.
Yep.
You're paying too much. Your interest rates are too high. You'll never get the rent. But that's part of the reason why rents have gone up so much. Another part of it is because of inflation, because the Canadian government loves to print fucking money. And the more you print, the less it is worth.
That's right.
And it's like one of those mysteries of the world.
Let's call it an inkwell economy.
Okay.
If you need more money, you just print it.
Right. But that
That's what
devalues the currency.
Oh, it does. That's what happened to the Americans. Is happening to the Americans. And it's been happening to the
Lots
U.S.
of countries,
for like 60
lots
years,
of Western
70
countries
years.
it's happened. Yeah. If you've got too much debt, you print too much money, it just costs your citizens too much to survive.
So I think when the world stopped being on the gold standard, that's when things just escalated. I don't know what the answer is. I can see what the problems are.
Yeah.
But do we have any answers? Not on this podcast. But the whole idea is to have conversations about these things. So you and I can have a conversation about this, and we can't do anything about it.
Right.
But there are other people out there
They could do something about
that
it.
could have conversations and do something about something. All they need is time to have a conversation with each other. But you'd have to leave politics and money out of it.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen.
It's impossible.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, money is the corrupter.
Yep. You can say it. Quote it. Yeah. This is the root of all evil.
Yeah, it really is. It's the corrupter. So, yeah, it's going to be a problem. Money and politics has every debate. Every, whether it be climate or the economy or vaccine status or, war, it's always money and corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Well, for the longest time, like when we would send aid to Africa,
well, we never used to send aid to. Well, maybe
send money. People would send money,
yeah.
right? People would send money
Actual aid.
or product.
Yeah.
Right. The problem was that yes, the product made it to Africa, and that's it. It made it to warehouses, so that the ruling tribesmen, the juntas, the military complex over there,
they didn't distribute it.
They just didn't distribute it.
Yeah.
So it does. So in a certain way, giving them money or wheat or rice, whichever, doesn't work, because we are doing it out of the goodness of our hearts to help another human being.
Okay.
That's thinking that everybody will.
Right.
But there are groups, even here in Canada, that when they receive a lump sum of money, they don't know what to do with it. They can't spend it properly. And that is a problem.
Again, that is corruption, greed, whatever. It's just human nature. Unfortunately, I think it's the way we're all built. All of us.
Yeah.
Regardless of race or culture or religion.
No.
I just feel like there's just a certain amount of greed
inherent
in the human condition, if that's what you want to call it. It's just there. It's just nothing you can do to get rid of it.
And it's not. We're not talking about greed of money or greed of power.
Well, it could be.
It's just greed of everything.
Just yeah. Usually it's money and power.
It could be money, power, sex, drugs.
Yeah, usually money and power give you all the rest of them too, though.
I've never known that.
No, nor have I.
I've never figured that out. Never been able to even. I'd like to give it a try. Kind of like the lottery. They say it changes people.
Yeah, I'll take that change.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
will take it. I'll take one for the team. You let me have $10 million.
Yeah, we'll do a study.
And we'll do a study
Yeah.
as to how long I can make that $10 million last and how many people I can help.
Yeah.
I think that's viable. I think we can probably pitch that to the Liberal government and it would pass in no time.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We'll ask them for us to do the study on the life expectancy of a tsetse fly in the Northwest Territories in December.
Okay. Sounds
They'd
good.
probably give us money for that.
Yes. 10 million?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm in.
All right.
I'm in. I like bugs.
I like bugs.
Entomology.
Entomology?
Yeah.
I thought that was the study of words.
No, that's something else.
Oh, okay.
I think entomology is the study of bugs. I think it's a bug thing.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
But over a cigar and a few drinks, darn it, we could solve
Politicians should all smoke cigars.
Oh yes.
Every time there's a meeting, they should be smoking a cigar.
Yeah, because it really
Levels
it actually
you out
does.
a bit.
It does.
Yeah.
Because it gives you common ground at the very beginning of a meeting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing about cigars and pipes. Is it's common ground.
Right.
But most arguments, there is no common ground. The way to find common ground is to start with one. Doesn't matter what it is. Do you like a cup of coffee? Good.
Right.
We like coffee.
We like coffee. Anything.
Anything to put you on the same footing as the other person.
Yeah.
And I think that's the basis of a good conversation and a good negotiation.
Yeah, right.
We're both nodding.
Cigars are good.
Cigars are good.
Yeah.
The time.
Yeah.
I mean, even if, it's a good example. Two people read the same book.
Mm-hmm.
They're on different sides of a political theory, but they read the same book.
Yeah.
Then they sit down.
Yeah, yeah.
They can either discuss the book, but at least they know that the other person has a common interest.
Yes. Yeah.
Subconsciously, you know that the other person has the ability to understand something that you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you less antagonistic towards one another. It's like when you get two cab drivers. One's a passenger, one's a cab driver. It's the nicest ride the cab driver driving is ever going to have.
When you're driving another cabbie?
Yeah.
Oh, because you have common ground.
Common ground.
Yeah.
This is what we need to understand. We need to have common ground with one another in order to change anything.
Well, I'm sure you learned that from hanging around in cigar stores, being a cab driver, working retail.
Indeed.
Is when customers come into the store, I always mirror them.
Yes.
You know, if they like something, I like it too. Or at least I'm not going to be like, I don't need to tell people my opinion about, I'm not talking about the product I'm selling.
No.
Just say they come in and they're like, oh, I'm a Ford guy. I'm not going to be like, oh, I love Chev. Like, why would you do that? Or vice versa.
No.
Like, why would you do that? It's stupid. Let them just be. Let them be happy with whatever.
Let them have their opinion.
Yeah.
Does it hurt you to let them have their opinion?
Or I'm a conservative, or I'm a liberal, or, I don't need to fight with every conservative guy that comes into the store that has a bad idea. It's not my place. So, I just, let people be. They can spew whatever, and then see you later. You don't have to hang out with them.
Nope.
Right?
Nope. It's,
Some people love our city. Some people hate our city. The people that come into our store that hate the city, I don't fight with them and tell them how great our city is. I don't fight with them about it. Just let them vent. Off you go. Just try to mirror people.
Mirrored people.
Right? I'm not saying you have to mirror them with, if someone comes in, it's completely fucking hateful or something really bad, right? But you could just say, but not engaging is probably a good thing. And being
you can engage, but not in a negative fashion.
Right.
So if you engage them in a positive light, you will have a successful conversation.
Yeah, right.
I will listen to anything that anybody has to say, and I will not question it. Okay, unless I know for a fact their opinion is skewed.
The only problem.
So what I'll do,
I agree
give
with you
them the
there
information.
too. Yeah,
give them the information.
Yeah. But I agree with that too. But sometimes you can run into people that are hateful or saying hate speech, which is in Canada is illegal, or saying things that are really racist or misogynistic or something. And I can't agree with those people. But thankfully, really don't run into those people very much.
No, and even when you do, they do have their. To paraphrase the Americans, we do have the right. They have the right.
Well, in Canada, speech is not protected like in the States.
Okay.
Right? So
But as human beings, we should be allowed. We should allow to let other people have their opinions.
Well, if you say, some people say that you counteract bad thoughts with better thoughts, or you let people that are racist or misogynistic or whatever speak, because then you know who the people in the crowd are that you don't want to be around.
That happens a lot.
Right? So that if you see someone speaking and they're saying hateful things, then you just know to stay away from them.
That's right.
Society would isolate them.
Or if you disagree with what they're saying, or if for some reason you find them just abhorrent to be around, well then you have two choices. You could not be around them, or you cannot poke the bear. Right? You can be in the same room with them, but you don't have to antagonize them. They want to speak, let them speak.
Yeah, but what if they're saying really rotten shit?
Well, that would all depend.
Yeah,
on what
really
they're saying.
Rotten shit, right? What if they're saying that? Then what do? Do you let them just speak continually, or do you speak back and tell them why the errors of their ways? I don't think there should be a law saying that they shouldn't be able to say that, because the problem with with speech laws is who decides what's what. Who decides what hate speech is? Your definition and mine might be different.
I do believe who decides is it's in that conversation. That particular conversation at that particular time. I say I don't agree with what you're saying.
Fine, but I'm saying if the government defines what you can and cannot say, who is to say the government knows what we should or shouldn't be saying? And who decides what speech is good or bad? You know what I mean? That's the slippery slope with compelled speech or hate speech or, whatever. Laws around speech. The problem is it's great when you agree with the government censorship of speech. It's great. But as soon as the next government gets in that is completely opposes your belief system, then it's not so great. When they start implementing speech laws that affect you, you know what I mean? It's okay if we're on the same side of an issue and we say that person shouldn't be able to say that hateful thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, we agree, we're the government, we agree that this is hate speech and that person can't say that. Now the government changes and it's politically 180 degrees. Now that guy's hate speech is no longer hate speech, but now the other person's is. Well, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be government, you know what I mean?
It's asking the government to be our morality police.
Morality's another thing. What is moral for you and I in a Judeo-Christian society, like it or not, that's what we live in. Yep. What is moral to us may not be moral to someone else, or vice versa. Like, so how you cannot have a morality police.
No, you can't.
I think most of us can agree on certain things. However, it's just a very, very tricky thing because the crime, for instance, not all crimes may be viewed the same in all cultures.
Right.
Right?
Whoa. Yes.
So, like, how... But in the West, we know that hitting your spouse is morally and criminally, it's fucking wrong. Now, is that the same in all cultures? I'm not pointing any fingers at any culture. Is it the same, though? Or are there cultures and societies where it's deemed okay? I don't know the answer to that question. I hope not. But that is my morality. That is my lens saying that.
But
are
if
all people like that throughout the whole world? I can't see that being possible.
No. There are going to be other people who believe...
So in the West or in Canada, we've decided that there's laws that protect vulnerable people. Mm-hmm. And I agree with those laws. But we can't put our laws into another country. They have to create their own laws. I guess we can fight. I don't know. It's a weird thing, right?
Because we're talking countries that have centuries or millennium of this is the way they are. It's very difficult to stop something that's been around for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
The way of doing things.
But what do we do? What do we do? Like, I know it's fine and dandy for us to say that this is the right way to do it. This should be the way it should be. But, like, who makes us the authority?
Because what we don't understand is what the other side...
Like, I mean, no one could ever convince me that violence is a good thing. No one could ever convince me of that, ever. No matter what the situation is, violence is not the answer. So that means spousal abuse, child abuse...
Everything.
Street fighting, brawling... No, it is not the answer to me. So no one could convince me differently of that. But why would I be allowed, or why should I be able to convince someone else the other way that violence is bad if they think violence is good?
I think that's what
it's a philosophical question. I don't know if there's an answer to it.
I don't think there is either. I mean, But if I say that, yes, thank you.
Smooth, eh?
Extremely.
I know, right?
Good.
Long
grief.
Table Distillery. Oh, Canadian.
Yeah, very good. But when you have, say you're having an argument with someone who's very misogynistic.
Right.
Sorry, you're having a discussion.
Fair enough.
If you are willing to listen to them, then they should be willing to listen to you. This
in a
is
civil society, that should be the way.
And that's what it is. I can argue, I can discuss,
but
it should be
people
both,
wouldn't do it, though.
But the only way to make things better
is to do it.
Is
but
to do
people
it.
won't do it. They won't do it.
Like, we've come across people who are very rough. Very, very rough. Very, very down to the earth. As a great man once said, morons. But they have come around. Not to my way of thinking, but to how to behave in public. There's a big difference. I ran into people who did not know how to behave in public. They did not know how to treat their children in public. They would abdicate their control over their children in public to the village.
Right.
Which is wrong. If the village says that's wrong.
Yeah, I was just going to say that society decides what's right and wrong.
If that's wrong, then that's wrong.
Yeah. Well, here's just to be a devil's advocate here. Our society says that's wrong, but what if another society doesn't? Let's talk about something benign like drinking laws, because they're benign, pretty much, right?
Yep.
In Canada, it's 8. In some provinces, it's 18. Some provinces, it's 19
right.
to drink legally. In the U.S., it's 21. In Europe, I think it's much younger.
It's like 14.
So I know a lot of people that would think that it's morally wrong for a 14-year-old to have a beer or a glass of wine with dinner. Now, in our society, we've decided now dinner out. In your own home, your child's allowed to drink if you give them alcohol. It says that right in the laws. But you can't take your child to a restaurant and they can't have a drink until they're of age. But in Europe, you can. You can go to the cantina, and I'm sure they can.
Uh-huh.
Same thing as like, I can't take my wife to the park and have a bottle of wine in British Columbia with a picnic. It's illegal. Can't drink in public.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Right.
So some people would say that is incorrect, is wrong to drink in public. But other people would say it's not. So in our uptight fucking province, you can't do it legally. You can't bring beer to the beach.
Right.
Right? But in Europe, you can. Even in Quebec, you can.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a morality issue?
Well, here's the thing.
And just let me finish quick. And if it is a morality issue, then who's to say our morals are better than someone else's? You know what I mean?
One thing about the old world, as we shall describe it, is they taught the responsibility of drinking. You can have a shandy when you're 12.
True.
Yes.
Pub. Now, but
so as you grow up, you understand the responsibility. You're teaching somebody at 14 years old about responsibility, responsible drinking. Like they're allowed to have one. What they do once they become adults, we have no control over that, which is why we have soccer hooligans. Right? We have no control over that. It's until they are the age of majority, if we give them all the tools to make up their own minds on any subject, that's what we should be doing. Which is why certain...
But okay, so just to go back to the root of it, though. So in Europe, they have a way of teaching people how to drink responsibly. Maybe we don't have that in Canada. Maybe that's why our laws say 19. Maybe it's just society has decided in Canada that the law should be 19 before you can drink. Maybe in Europe, they say it's 15 or 12 or whatever the age is. I don't even know. But why is it one way in one country and one way in another? Is it morality? Is it what we believe morality is? And my point is who's to say their system is right and our system is right, or either one is wrong? Society has decided what is moral and immoral. So to have a judgment based on morality, unless society as a whole agrees on it, you can't do it.
But society,
to get back, who decides what hate speech is?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who decides what it is? Like, this is the problem. Who decides what is or isn't moral? I saw a thing on Twitter that was very interesting. And again, it's a societal thing. So they were complaining about nudity or near nudity in some of the pride parades.
Okay.
But then the guy was like, well, there's nude beaches. Great point. There's nothing saying a child can't go to a nude beach and see nude people. There's nothing saying that child can't go to a nude beach and see nude people. So what is the difference between someone being nude at a nude beach or someone being nude at a pride parade? Not that I know that that's happening, because I've never seen it with my own eyes.
I would say that there is a difference.
There is?
Yes.
Oh, shit, dude.
Because when you're going to a nude beach, you know you're going to a nude beach.
But what if you're going to a pride parade and you know there's going to be nudity?
Do you know?
I don't know. I've been to pride parades many times. I've never seen any nudity.
If you know going into a situation,
but what if you're a child?
That there will be. Oh, that becomes on your parents.
Okay.
Then that becomes your parents' deal. If your parents take you to a nude beach and take you to a parade that has nudity,
so should you be allowed to as a parent? Again,
that depends on the parents.
Who decides what is right and wrong?
At that point, it's the parent, I believe. Because I knew people who introduced their children to alcohol at a very young age, fairly young age, under 18, say. And one went, oh, yeah, I like this. Another one went, yeah, it's all right. Another one went, yeah, no.
Fair enough.
Because those children were brought up very well.
Okay.
Like, to be able to experience something and went, yeah, that's not for me.
Okay.
At a very young age. They turned out to be three very...
So my other... Then I'm reading this thing and I'm like, okay, that's a really good point. But now... Then I was thinking, okay, at a beach, you can wear a bikini. And it's not indecent. Or a guy could wear a Speedo. God forbid.
That's indecent.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right? But then you wouldn't be really walking around in Safeway shopping with a bikini or a Speedo on.
No.
Right? But there should be no rule against it. But then if you're in a beach town and you go to a Burger King or something on the beach, you're going to see a lot of people in there in their bikinis. And that's okay. But you're not going to see someone far away from the beach in their bikini, because that would seem weird. It's just like weird, right? Like,
we're talking. I think what we're trying to talk about here is context.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Right? I mean, because if you're in Venice Beach and
in California,
okay. And you walk into a place and there's people in bikinis, yeah,
it's normal.
It's
You're
normal.
On the beach. Yeah.
I think what we're talking about here is basically read the room.
Okay, and I agree. However, who decides what the room should be? Who decides that it's okay to wear a bikini at the burger joint on the beach, but it's not okay to wear a bikini at the burger joint that is 30 miles from the beach?
Or in Manhattan.
Or to go grocery shopping. Or in New York City. I don't... Like, who decides what's right and what's wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do,
it's
actually.
It's like, it's weird, right?
It's almost
like,
as
who says that you can't wear a bikini to work?
Are we thinking maybe could we put it as it's an environmental thing, right?
I hear what you're saying, and you know what? If I was like, when I go to Kelowna, I used to go there all the time because my in-laws lived there, and they were on the beach town, like the beach road across the street. So you'd go to the beach. You just walk the street, right? And you would see, volleyball.
You're a streetwalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're just walking along the street, and you'd see people playing volleyball in their bikinis and at the beach.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you'd see people walking down the street in bikinis and guys in shorts and no shirts and flip-flops. And, and you just see people walking all along. And then all the restaurants had people dressed like that in it along. But then and that seemed totally fine. There was like nothing. It was like, didn't even twig, nothing.
No.
Like nothing, right? But then when you went further out, you didn't see that anymore. And then you thought that was fine too. And I think it's fine. Like, it makes sense to me if I'm at the beach or a girl's at the beach. Like, well, why cover up? You're covered. You're covered, right? It's legal. Whoever decides what legal or illegal is.
Right.
It's legal. But then you wouldn't wear those clothes to
court.
go to court or to go shopping for to go shopping in downtown. Like, you never see people walking.
I think
in
we
our
are talking
city.
about environment, though.
I guess so.
I think we are. Because if
but
you're...
also getting back to the same thing is like, who decides? So I guess society as a whole kind of just has a sixth sense about it. Because I've literally seen a girl roller skating in our city in like the skimpiest bikini ever. And it was like shocking. It was shocking. But you go to the beach and you see girls in skimpy bikinis all the time and you don't even pay attention. Well, I mean, you kind of do, but you know what I mean.
Well, that's interesting to put it that way, because that means that as I say, it comes like it's environmental. But no, it's the person. It's the individual person.
I think it's societal. And society has just decided that it's not okay to go shopping for groceries at the local grocer in a thong bikini or in a Speedo, but it's okay to, if that grocer is right on the beach, then it's okay. I don't know. I guess we've just decided that it's okay.
What we've gotten back to then is the key word here is context.
Okay.
You have to take everything in context.
Nuance too. Nuance as well, right?
Nuances. I mean, it just seems to me that if everything is taken in context, and nuances, a lot of things would be different.
I can't keep this ash in the ashtray. I'll vacuum later. Like the same thing as I've heard of this being said. If a woman is in the office and she has a lacy undergarment on, right, and she's got a couple buttons undone, and you can get a little peek of a lacy something underneath her shirt. Incredibly sexy, right? Like, guys are like, whoa.
Yeah.
But then you go to the beach and you see women wearing less than that all day long, and it's like, yeah, you just walk by. So it's like it's like that's environment, right?
It is.
That's environment. Like, maybe it's like when you see something when you're not expecting it, it's more attractive or more shocking or whatever the word is.
Lurid?
Yeah. But when you're expecting it,
it's not.
It's not.
Because I think that there was a great experiment done with a rather curvy person wearing a shirt that was undone. One button too many.
Okay.
How many people noticed?
Right. In the city or something?
In an office.
In an office.
Right.
But then when she was at the beach, no one noticed.
No.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I see a woman who I know and she has, say, one or two buttons have popped. I've known this since I was very young.
Well, you say something.
You say something.
Yeah.
Or you motion.
Just like if
a guy has his fly open.
Yeah, you say something. Like, dude, please tell me.
Dude, the barn door's open. I mean, come on. But I think that we as a society, men, yes, it's okay, yeah, it's really nice to see the gap and whatnot, but as boyfriends, fathers, husbands,
It's just not. Yeah,
we should be going, excuse
Yeah.
me, dear,
Yeah.
right? And I've done that.
Sure.
And not once has the woman been angry with me.
No.
And I've had to do it. I've actually mentioned it to women who are as young as 16 and as old as 50.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know, be surreptitious about it. Be gentle about it.
Yeah.
And they have appreciated it because they don't know it happened.
Yeah.
And that is, I think that's a good thing that we can do as men. That when we mention it not luridly,
Yes.
if that's even a word,
I don't know. I know what you mean.
but if we just mention it,
I'm dyslexic also. I like to make up words.
there we go. But if you see too much, and in one case it was a 16-year-old girl in a server aspect, going, I asked, my wife at the time, could you mention to her that
The button's undone.
the button's undone?
Yeah.
And she said yes, because otherwise coming from a man it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But the second time it happened, in the same evening, she said, no, I think you should make her aware.
Oh.
A man should make her aware that something is
A little
amiss.
wardrobe malfunction.
A wardrobe malfunction, because that might mean more.
I don't know.
But I do believe
Shouldn't.
I do believe that it's important that when there is a wardrobe malfunction, it should be addressed.
Sure. If I got my
Because-
fly down, tell me, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Especially when it's dragging on the floor. But
Yeah.
yes, I think that's
My flies are like, my zippers are, I have to get my pants tailored.
Oh.
Extra long zippers.
really.
Yeah,
really.
you know.
Is that why they go all the way down to the ankle?
Yeah. So I lift my leg to pee.
There we go.
Put my foot on the edge of the toilet.
But it's just, to me, it's I'm as male
Yeah, but
as
now
the
that-
next person.
Yeah, but that's a wardrobe malfunction. That's not for lack of a better word, an inappropriate attire in an
environment.
in an environment. Yeah,
But yes,
just-
it is.
it
is
but it
inappropriate,
wasn't
but they don't know it.
Yeah, but where we started though was like
We started somewhere.
we did. We started. Is it appropriate to be nude in a parade if you can be nude on a beach? I don't really see the difference in a lot of ways.
Oh, I can see that. Because it's a parade. That's a different thing. I mean,
Now, if you were on that beach and you were portraying sexual acts, that's probably not okay.
not okay.
And I would agree with that. It's probably not okay in a parade either.
Yeah.
I've never been to a nude beach. I'm too shy.
I knew someone who actually went to a nude beach in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
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 There was-
Wreck beach?
Yeah, there was nobody there. So he took a nap.
Oh, that's
It was
nice.
a beautiful beach,
Yeah,
from what I
it's-
understand.
Yeah. I've never been.
And he woke up surrounded by
Nude people?
nude people.
Oh,
He
hilarious.
goes, right?
Yeah.
There's
Did you take a nap naked?
no, he did not.
Oh.
Him?
I don't know.
No way. I mean, he's a good man, but
Yeah.
no.
Fair enough. I'm too self-conscious to walk around naked. I'm what they call a never nude. I'm just kidding. You remember that?
No.
What was that? Arrested Development.
I never got into that
Oh,
show.
it's so funny. Tobias was the character. His wife was Portia.
Portia Del Rossi?
Ellen's wife.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know her last name, but and Tobias was her husband. He was a never nude, and there's one episode where he's literally taking a shower with his cut off jean shorts on because he could never be naked.
Okay.
It's hilarious. Yeah, really funny.
I mean, I would like to experience being able to be out in public
Naked?
naked.
Err.
Why not? I got nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, so you say.
Exactly, but that's
Good
me.
for you.
That's
Good
right.
for you. I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
No, it's the whole hair suit.
I'll shave your ass for you.
There we go. But if the mood strikes me, and I'm in a environment,
An appropriate environment, yeah.
then
Why not? Yeah.
And it's an old thing. When in Rome.
Yes. God, I'm high.
It's a great cigar.
That's strong.
Yep.
Between this and the gin, I'm feeling no pain.
Nope, it's
no pain.
Yeah.
This is the Casa Turrent, made by in the Alejandro Turrent factory, I guess. Edizione Limitada.
Yeah.
By Alejandro Turrent.
It is a
1880. That's a Maduro wrapper. Mexican Puro?
Yes.
Is it Mexican? 100%?
I believe so. I mean, it is a great cigar.
Looks like a Mexican wrapper.
I think it's an Oscuro wrapper.
Could be. It's very, very dark. Jesus. Feeling it. I'm feeling it. 'Cause I don't normally smoke cigars this strong. I'm usually more in the medium range. I mean, I will smoke them, but...
Well, on my way out yesterday, before I went to Sheringham,
Yeah.
I lit a brick house, like I would normally do before doing any errands. And I lit it in the parking lot, and I got about 50 feet up the driveway and went, okay, we're just gonna stop for a second.
What happened?
It just hit me like, boom. This
Oh,
huge,
really?
huge nicotine hit. Huge.
Really?
And I had to actually stop the car.
Oh,
Because I'm
man.
going, okay, this is not going to go well.
Yeah. Go down, be high on nicotine driving down a curvy road.
Well, no, it just takes about 5 minutes to bring the whatever up to the point where you could actually drive. But it hit me really hard. I'm just going, yes, this is
good.
This is good. This is like how you start your day.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that drive. And like you said, I mean, I would, if the other 150 kilometers of the drive between Shirley and Duncan
Was it? Oh, that one.
was like that,
It,
I'd be very
It's
happy.
a little different, but it's a lot like that.
I'd be very happy.
Lots of single lane bridges. Lots
That's
of
fine.
trees.
That's fine. So I wanted to ask you, is that the old Highland Highway before the Malahat?
no,
Okay.
no.
That was not...
That is an old logging road
Okay.
that has been upgraded as an emergency bypass of the Malahat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. That road, I don't know for a fact, but it probably wasn't passable 20 years ago without a 4x4.
Really?
Yeah. No, you could get to Port Renfrew, but even Port Renfrew 20 years ago, once you passed Jordan River, it was gravel and washboard.
Oh, wow.
So you wouldn't take like a small car there. They paved that probably 20 years ago, something like that. 25 years ago. And then they started improving the road between Renfrew and Cowichan, I think probably about 20 years ago.
Because that was an absolutely stunning drive. It's like
Yeah.
the drive from the winery,
Which winery?
the one you did the show at.
Oh, yeah. Church and
Taking
State.
the back.
Taking West Saanich.
Oh, that was
it's a nice
just-
road.
That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I had to slow down for certain spots on that highway. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you come to a rise, and you can't see the bottom of the road.
Yes.
So what you do, you slow down.
Yeah, yeah. So once you pass Renfrew and you start to go up on that, whatever they call it, the circle route, it looks similar, but of course, as you move inland, it doesn't look the same because you're getting away from the coast.
I was amazed at how much certain parts of that trip were like driving through the Okanagan.
Oh, interesting.
Flat.
And
Like
open?
dead flat.
Yeah.
And,
Just for little stints. Though.
And very, very pastoral.
Yeah. So when you get into the behind, you'll see there's like definitely logging back there. So there's some clear cut areas, there's some treed areas, and as you move up higher, the trees are a little smaller. It's drier as well, and it becomes a lot more open.
Okay.
So as you get higher and higher and higher, the trees are getting smaller.
Yep.
It's more open, and the sky's a lot bigger. Like, because when you're driving on the coast, there's no sky because the trees almost touch at the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you move inland, it opens up quite a bit, and it's really neat though because there's like little like rivers and little little like lakes, and yeah, it's really cool. I highly recommend doing that at some point.
Yeah.
I would leave really early.
I have noticed
the most fun way. Leave really early.
I have noticed that leaving at like 10 o'clock in the morning is really good because everybody's at work. Mm-hmm. And then you drive for like 2 hours, 3 hours, then you drive back.
Yeah.
By the time you get back, everybody is just beginning to drive home.
Yeah. Like if I was going to do that route and I had like all the energy in the world, I'd leave at like 7, drive to Duncan.
What's 7?
7 a.m. Drive to Duncan for breakfast at 8. Eat breakfast till 9. Yeah, I do it the other way. I've done it both ways, and it's good both. It doesn't matter. But the Malahat gets busy, right?
Yes, it does.
Like if you hit the Malahat at 4 and you're doing it on a weekend, you could be stuck, right? So drive north, stop in Duncan for breakfast at 8, then head out to Cowichan, through Cowichan, and then start, and then you're in Renfrew by. Well, if you stop, say you end breakfast at 9, you're in Renfrew at 10:30.
Time for brunch.
Time have a coffee, cigar on the beach. Leave at 1. You're home by 3. Miss all the traffic.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is beautiful country to drive through. It really is.
Yeah.
Just the limited amount of driving I've done has been just gorgeous.
Well, because you're new-ish to this area, right? So these are all new experiences for you. Yeah.
Yep. And I will never get tired of driving through trees. Never.
No, it's pretty awesome. Right?
I mean, I could take that back road, the old Island Highway, I think it is, to Butchart.
That's West Saanich Road.
West Saanich Road.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because it is...
You should drive it all the way to the end.
Magnificent.
Yeah, drive it all the way into Deep Cove to Land's End Road. It's beautiful.
So gorgeous.
That's how you get out to the Stonehouse pub.
Oh.
You been?
No.
Oh. Well, that's another
next drive.
That's another
next drive.
Yeah. It's not far. Take you 45 minutes to get there. Go to the pub, have a burger, drive on home. No drinking.
Nope.
No, you're driving.
No. But that gets back to who decides, right?
That's definitely a safety and societal thing. But again, like
I think it is your own safety at that point.
But I again, every law can go too far. Every law can go too far. Right now, we've got laws saying that you can't drink and drive, right?
Yep.
There's no law saying how much you can drink.
That you shouldn't. Well, here's a good example.
But there's a law saying that you need to wear a helmet on a motorcycle. Why is that?
So they can identify the corpse.
Right.
That's
really. But so I believe the reason there's motorcycle helmet laws is because we have socialized healthcare in Canada. And if you drop your bike, they don't want you to be brain dead and have to live on the social services your whole life. That's what my belief is.
I like it.
Okay?
I like it.
So with that in mind, could there ever be a law passed that says you can only drink so much? Because if you drink too much, you're going to get sick, have a stroke, and then you're going to be on social assistance of some kind. And we have a socialized healthcare system, so you're going to be a burden on society. And where does it stop? So you know what I mean? Like there's certain laws that I can agree with. I guess I can agree with the motorcycle helmet law. I don't know. I think that's just like Darwin. If you don't want to wear a motorcycle helmet, you're not going to hurt anyone else any more than if you wore one.
But if you're drinking and driving, there's a good chance you will.
Yes. Agreed. So drinking and driving is kind of a different thing, right? So you could justify a drinking driving law because you're possibly going to kill someone else.
That's right. But if you're
in a car by yourself and you're not wearing a seatbelt and you get into an accident and die, should there be a law?
Because again, going back to your burden on society, if I'm in a car and I get into an accident and I'm not wearing my seatbelt, and I live,
and then you're a burden on society, then society has a right to say, to say whether you should or shouldn't wear your seatbelt. Now, this is the slippery slope part. We can all agree, I think, that seatbelts save lives, and I wear my seatbelt all the time. If I had a motorcycle, I wear my helmet all the time. But tobacco.
Can we go back to the seatbelt thing for a sec?
Sure.
I knew a man years ago who did not believe in seatbelts. He was an orthopedic surgeon.
Okay.
Because the damage that is caused by a seatbelt in a high impact is dramatic.
Yes, it is.
Because you are...
Yeah, well,
what is the laws of motion?
Kinetic energy.
Kinetic energy. If something is in motion, it has a tendency to stay in motion.
Wants to stay in motion.
So you're traveling at 110 kilometers an hour. You have a seatbelt. Great. You hit something. Your organs, they kind of want to do 120 kilometers an hour. Still. So we're talking...
That happens to race car drivers all the time.
Yeah.
Their body is intact, but their internals are all mush.
They're just shot.
Yeah. That's why the cars fly apart now, to release all that energy.
Because there's a huge amount of energy.
Right. So if you can... So like when you see a Formula One car hit something, the whole car explodes, because when you release that energy, you release the momentum.
Right.
Yes. So let's say we can all agree on motorcycle helmets, or at least I can, and seatbelts. But then there comes a point where I wouldn't agree anymore. So we all agree that you don't want to be a burden on society, so you wear a helmet. If you get into an accident, you're not a vegetable. You wear a seatbelt, you get into an accident, you're not a vegetable. But if you smoke and have a heart attack and you're a vegetable, should they ban this? If you drink too much and have a stroke or whatever other ailments can have, should they ban drinking? If you eat too much meat, so like where do we draw
Where is
the
it?
line?
Yeah,
right? There's
yeah.
lines are meant to be crossed. So is that a line? Is that a definite line that's enough?
Well, look at it this way. A person my size can have, we'll just say, 2 drinks with dinner, and they're kind of okay to drive.
Right.
A person who is... Okay.
Those laws
So a person my size who's been drinking for 30 years versus a person who's...
My size, I could probably have 3, and it would affect us the same, right? Now, that's not my point, though. Because you're drinking in moderation, and you're drinking responsibly. But laws aren't created for responsible people.
No, it's not.
I don't need a seatbelt law. I'll still wear the fucking seatbelt.
Even drunk. Even drunk, you will still wear a seatbelt.
I will still wear my seatbelt. I don't drink and drive, of course, but I would still wear the seatbelt. So there doesn't...
Nobody drinks and drives.
Yeah. There doesn't need to be a law for me to wear a seatbelt, because I'm going to do it. I'm also going to cross in crosswalks and stop at red lights. You don't need a law for me to stop at a red light. There doesn't need to be that law. I'm stopping at the fucking red light. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the people that live outside of the law, or outside of what's best for them. You and I, we have 2 or 3 drinks. That's it. We don't have the whole bottle.
We know we're good. Yeah,
we don't have the whole bottle.
No.
Laws aren't created for people that are going to do the right thing. They're created for the fringes. I'm not going to drink and drive, even if it was legal. I'm not doing it, because it's not what I want to do.
No.
So those laws aren't created for people that do the right thing. They're created for people that don't do the right thing. So like you and I, we smoke a cigar a day, or 2 or 3 a week, or whatever the case may be. Fine. No problem. But there's guys out there that smoke 10 cigars a week. So do we make a law that you're not allowed to, or 10 cigars a day? Or do we make a law that says you're not allowed to do that? You and I are having 1 or 2 drinks. Not going to hurt us. But if we had 20 drinks and we did it every day, should there be a law? I'm not saying there should be, but at what point does it become overreach by by the lawmakers,
by the government,
or by society, or by whoever? You know, if society decided that drinking was bad and they banned drinking, is that right? If they said tobacco's bad and they ban it, if meat, soy, there's lots of bad things with soy. What if we decided that soy's no good?
Almond milk, oat milk.
Yeah.
Yep.
What if we decide it's bad? Should we ban it? Should we make it illegal? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I think certain people like me, I believe that certain laws are good to make things illegal, like drinking and driving and seatbelt laws. I'm not going to do those things anyway, even if there wasn't a law. But I don't want the government telling me I have to everything I have to or can and cannot do all the time.
How about responsibility for your own actions? How about if we lay it down to that?
Well, I kind of that's kind of that's liberalism.
If I drink a bottle in an evening and drive,
Personal responsibility.
Personal
I'm
responsibility.
huge on personal responsibility.
I think that's what it comes down to.
So that's a liberal idea, not a left idea. It's just liberal. It's a liberalism idea, like personal accountability and responsibility.
I don't think that should be liberal. I think that should just be right across the board.
I know. Liberalism, as a political philosophy or a way of thinking, says that you should have personal responsibility.
I believe you should.
I do too.
I was brought up that way.
Yeah.
And I
don't think you should blame everyone and everything for your situation or your decisions in life.
No, because
it's not always everyone else's fault. It's not always, oftentimes your bad decisions reap what you sow.
Well, definitely. I mean, because like as a friend once said, it was there are not right or wrong decisions. There are just decisions.
Well,
that just some are just
so you
bad.
you just make a decision and then you
live with it.
You live with it. Yeah, and some of them aren't going to be favorable to you.
Exactly. And he found out the hard way that it was not livable.
Right.
But he took responsibility for what he did. Now, in the event of you drink, you drive, you kill somebody, you're kind of responsible.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%.
So you should pay the price.
Whatever that might be.
Whatever it might be.
Whatever society decides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just... But I've met people...
Well, I met people that live on the ragged edge.
Who have multiple DUIs.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't... whatever the justice system throws at them does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
And that... I think that is a... what's the...
that's my entire cigar, the entire ashes on the ground.
So all of the ashes in this ashtray are from my cigar. I just want to let you know. I don't understand people like that. But what do we call them? We call them sociopaths, right?
Yeah.
Because what matters to them is them.
Yes.
Now, we can agree that a sociopathic behavior is real in certain people. It can be exacerbated by alcohol.
Oh, most definitely.
Right, or by smoking.
Not cigars.
No,
I can't see it. Maybe other drugs.
Other drugs.
Not even
sure.
marijuana. There's no way.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw somebody smoke a joint and go out and run over like 6 people? Yeah, they can't even get in the fucking car.
Well, I mean, you definitely don't see people smoking pot and getting violent. I've never have.
No. They
Alcohol, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. Because it dulls the...
inhibitions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But weed also dulls inhibitions.
But it's also a depressant.
But it doesn't give you the opportunity to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know why you get aggressive on alcohol. Well, some people. Because it's also a depressant. But isn't marijuana the same? Isn't it a downer? Like a depressant?
I wouldn't say depressant.
Well,
but it is a downer.
So it is like alcohol's a downer too, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's not a stimulant by any means.
Yeah, so I don't understand what the difference is. Like why
alcohol
how's this? Makes you aggressive.
Weed is such a downer, such a depressant, that it is a more intense depressant than alcohol,
Could be.
right? So you can still function as an alcoholic. We've met
Well,
people
as a pothead too. You don't think so?
No, not
Really?
coming across some of the potheads I've come across.
Okay.
Because some of them, okay, they've never become violent.
No,
Ever.
potheads are not violent.
But,
I think
They-
alcohol's
they-
a worse drug than marijuana, though.
yes,
I think it's
Agreed.
a worse drug. Yeah.
agreed. Because
I think
it lowers your
I think
inhibitions.
nicotine's the best drug.
Well, the stimulation. Oh, yeah, of course we do. These glasses can be purchased at Goodfellas Cigar Shop. $7.95.
Yeah. Thanks for the plug.
No problem. No, I agree with you that as I think weed is THC
Yeah.
is more of a depressant than alcohol because it puts you past being able to
Past
do
the violent stage.
yeah
Yeah.
to do just about anything.
That could be.
Whereas
I mean, I have no idea, but
whereas alcohol dulls the senses. Like people say,
alcohol reduces your inhibitions. So I wonder
Yeah.
if that's the difference. Maybe pot doesn't.
here's an interesting
I'm
connection.
glad that
then.
Canada legalized pot because that was so stupid.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, it was dumb. It's less
However,
harmful than alcohol.
I
Yet
still
illegal.
believe that people in certain industries should be tested.
Why though?
Well,
Like
I've
if
run
you
it.
smoke a joint on the weekend and then you're at work on Wednesday, I mean,
Okay, so you have.
I don't think you should be under the influence while you're working.
No.
The problem with the problem with cannabis is when they test you, they can't tell if you're high at the moment.
Because they can tell if you're tired.
The THC sits in the fat cells, and it takes a long time to get rid of the THC out of your fat cells.
Oh,
Hair cells
damn.
too.
Well, we don't have that problem.
No, we don't. But like I don't think you should test for. Like if you're driving truck, let's say, I
Right.
mean, you got to be sober, right? You got to be and awake. Like you can't even be tired,
Right.
right? Cab, same idea.
Oh yeah.
Can't be can't be tired, can't be high, can't be drunk.
No.
But how do they test? Okay, while you're doing it, you shouldn't be doing any, while you're actually driving cab. But if you finish your shift and you go home and you smoke a joint, I got no problem with that.
No.
No. Once your shift is done,
You're done. You're done.
you're done.
Yeah.
It's your time. Go have a joint.
Yeah.
Drink have a couple of beers and smoke a joint. Relax. But while you're working, no.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. Because I have come across people who smoked a lot and
I mean, now just to
smoke weed.
Put this into whatever I want to say.
Perspective.
Sometimes people are using weed as pain medication, so I wonder if that should be different, though. Like if you're in excruciating chronic pain, should you be allowed to use cannabis and then go to work? Because you can use pain meds that dull you too,
That's a good point.
right?
That's a very valid point. Because people who
But
are...
I don't think anyone would ever say you could have a couple of beers as pain management and then go to work. Would they? I mean, a lot of people have a beer at lunch or two and then go back to work.
Which I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah,
I just
have a
don't.
couple of beers. I'd just be sleeping.
Yeah. Day drinking to me means nap.
Yeah. Yeah, I only day drink on the weekends or when I'm like on holidays or something.
Or when you're staying home.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
driving.
Not driving.
Yeah.
So I guess if you were using cannabis or any other drug as pain management, then maybe you shouldn't drive.
If you're using any drug
Any drug.
as
yeah.
a pain management, I don't think you should be operating a vehicle,
Probably not.
right?
But should you not be allowed to work? If work means driving a vehicle, no.
No.
But if you're just
I see where
working
you're
in an
going.
office space,
I see where you're going, because I have come across people who were alcoholics, and they're fine when they're working. Like, yeah, the good chance they're still drunk.
oh, very good chance.
But
I
they're
know
very
people
good at
like
working.
that. Yeah, I know.
Like-
I've worked with people like that.
But people, it's been a recent thing where I've come across people who smoke a lot of weed, who are extremely, I don't want to, in a certain way the word is volatile, but you don't know where they are emotionally.
Okay, so I don't know if that's the weed. It might just be something there. Maybe they've got something else going on, and they're using the weed to self-medicate.
Because like I've come across them where they are so emotionally roller coaster.
There's
that
something
there's
else.
just no
Like-
way that
Like
they should.
you and I are not really emotional roller coasters. If we started smoking weed, would it change us? I don't know. Maybe the folks that you're talking about are already had some other issue. Maybe they already had an emotional or a psychological, whatever the right word is now, mental issue. Maybe they already had something going on, and it's not the weed doing it. It's just their
Makeup.
chemical imbalance, makeup, brain doing that. Maybe it's not the weed at all.
Okay.
Just a thought. I
would
said,
actually like to
these are
believe
just hot
that.
takes. I don't know. What the fuck
I would
I'm
love to
talking
believe
about.
that. I really would.
Yeah.
Because I think weed has its place.
See, like when I get drunk, I don't get violent,
Neither do I.
but I've had friends that do. So I wonder if that's just them. I wonder if that's just in them.
I would probably agree with you on that.
Yeah,
Because-
just like the pot, right?
Because after 13 years of driving hack, there are people who are just like really fun to be around when they're drunk. And there are other people
Yeah.
who just aren't.
yeah,
They are not fun to be around.
Yeah.
Like I've been with people who, when they drink, they're a lot of fun to be around. People say that when I do, I am. But I've met people who, when they drink, it's really bad.
yeah.
I do have a very good example of that. This is the fellow wanted to hang out with me, and he was drinking at a place that I frequented, and he was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually had to say,
Did you have to say sorry for him?
no,
No.
I took him.
Took him out?
I took him out.
Yeah.
I just said,
No.
okay, this is where
You
I
can't shit where you eat.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is where I live. This is
Yeah.
where these people.
This is my social life.
Not only is it my social life, but these people are responsible for about 20% of my income.
Oh, your income because of your customers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like they were my customers, and I said, "Okay, we have to go now."
Yeah.
And I phrased it in such a way that I did not insult him. He was a drunk. He was an alcoholic. I did not insult him. I just said, "It's time for us to go," because I like it here.
And
These
you want to be welcome.
these people are responsible for 20 to 25% of my income. So if they see me take a friend out of the bar because he's drinking too much, what does that mean? That means that I care about my business and them.
Yeah.
And I care about people who are really shouldn't be drinking quite that much.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I've said before, I mean, I made 6 figures a year with that attitude.
Right.
Maybe sometimes when people would realize the only phone number they could call was me. Check out my Instagram. I have actually often wondered if that was a bad thing, by the way.
What?
That people knew that they could call me and get home.
Why would that be a bad thing?
Well, it doesn't matter how drunk they get.
So are you saying it enabled them?
Did it?
I don't know.
Nah.
I don't
No?
think so. Nah.
I've thought about it.
Maybe, but nah.
Because I've had people...
I don't think you should take. I wouldn't say you should take that burden on. They were doing what they were doing. They would have done it regardless.
They just knew they had an out.
Not even that. And you just were just the guy that made sure they got home safe. I don't think that. No, you can't take that
Okay.
on. That's
'Cause I had
that's
people-
on them.
Because I actually had people pay me extra to come and get them at the end of the night.
Sure.
Because they knew
That you could get them home
that
safe.
I would get them home safe.
I
would
wonder
come
if they
and I
would have behaved the same even if you weren't there.
Exactly.
It's quite possible.
I'd like to believe that they wouldn't drink more
If you weren't?
if I weren't. They would drink their normal amount, call me when they're ready to go.
So do you think that the people were drinking more because you were there? Is that what you think?
I wonder.
I don't think that should be on you. No way.
No?
No. Fuck no.
Okay.
No.
Appreciate that because
No.
there were times
No, because
when that
people
was,
are people. Like, even though I'd go out with some friends, and I'm not a big drinker, I'd have 2, 3, 4 drinks, and they would always, they're always the guys getting into shit. Always trying to look for a fight. Always.
Oh, God.
You know?
It's time to go.
That wasn't my fault.
No.
That I'd have 4 drinks and they'd have 12. Like, that's not my fault. Like,
I do remember times when
was it my fault because I, say, didn't have any drinks and I'd be the guy that got them home safe at the end of the night? Was that my fault that they drank that much? I don't think so.
No.
Have you ever known people that, oh, I was sober last week, so, and I drove, now it's your turn, but they would still drink, and then you're fucked? You've known people like that, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's not your fault at all. They're
No.
just, they just fucking drink too much. They're just alcoholics.
The alcoholics, yeah. Because I've had people the next day ask me, so did you give me a ride home last night? Yeah. Did I pay you? Yeah.
Jeez Louise. That's
You know,
rough.
Well, some of them were quite rough. I always tried to make sure that they got in the house.
All right. As long as they're in the door.
Indoor, fine. I did come across one guy who I saw him put his key in the door, turn the lock, and I'm going, hey, he's good. Apparently 3 hours later, somebody came home and found him, his hand on the key, his key in the lock,
He was just there.
and he was just
Yeah.
passed out.
Yeah. Not your fault.
It seemed to be like a lot of the people.
Every time a cabbie's driven me home, I walk out the door of the car and he just drives off. They don't wait till I get in.
Oh no, I have to wait.
I'm just saying, whenever I've used a cab,
That one time.
that 1 or 2 times,
Yeah.
they don't wait. They just fuck off.
Really don't.
I've
No.
used a cab lots of times.
But
Well,
that
not
is-
lots, but a few times.
I think that goes back to our societal thing. This is an individual thing. Me personally, if I'm driving somebody home, it doesn't matter if they're drunk or sober. It really doesn't. Do they get in their house?
Right. Well, that's good. That's admirable.
We've done this before. We've had this discussion about making sure that somebody who is impaired really shouldn't be out in public because they could be taken advantage of. Make sure they get in. Because the last 5 years I drove cab, I went the extra mile and went for the vulnerable persons security check. Because everybody who gets into a cab is a vulnerable person, really, because they are counting on somebody else to give them a ride home,
Right.
whether they be medically impaired, alcohol impaired, emotionally impaired. They deserve a ride home. They
Sure.
deserve a ride home free. Females, oh my goodness, how many times I took females home. Oh, I got a quick, great story if we have time.
Sure.
I had a lady in the car with a guy who was rather pushy.
Handsy.
Yes. I didn't know her. So when she said to him, why don't you get out of the car and get the door for me? And him being him went, sure. As soon as he closed the door, she said, drive.
Yeah.
I'm going, gone. Because a woman could have, or a man could have said that, and I would have done the same thing.
Sure.
Some small part of their brain has gone, this is bad.
Yes.
How can I get out of this?
Yeah.
I need somebody else to help me get out of this. That's my job. To get
right.
you out of a situation that somehow you got yourself into. But I am there to get you out of it. That
Right.
happened, unfortunately, far too
Probably
many times.
too much. Yeah.
Far
much.
too many times. Like there was ladies who would get sick. And I'd pull over and they would get sick outside the car. And she actually said in front of the guy, well, where's Blaine?
Yeah. Right.
The one guy that she could count on, she was asking for
Yeah. To get you home. Get her
to,
home.
to get her home.
Yeah, well, you got people home safe. So
I did. That was my job.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that there was never once an impropriety between a man and a woman
In your car.
In my car.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, when women are drunk, they're sacrosanct. You don't touch them.
Right.
You do not get to touch them. That is wrong. But this goes back to, this is how I was brought up.
I would have never got laid if I was younger. When I was younger. I'm just kidding. Get the fuck out of here. You looked at me like, oh my God.
What? You're talking like,
what the fuck am I?
Gee whiz, what have I got? Okay, I'm out of here. Fuck this shit. But I just...
Never happened. Never
I
happened.
find that...
I met my wife young. I think I was only like 22 or 23, and that was it.
What? And she was in grade school.
No. Same age.
I've seen her.
Same age.
God.
Shut up.
But that was how I was brought up. That was how the village brought me up.
Yeah.
My parents. The cigar store. This is how you behave in polite society.
Yes.
This is not
Well, not everyone
allowed.
plays by the rules of society.
They don't.
No.
But we have to give them the tools. Make your decision. Make your own. But when shit goes sideways, you have to be responsible for what you did.
Right.
Personal responsibility. That's, I think, what it comes down to. A lot of things that we've been discussing is we can't, if you are involved with somebody who, having a discussion with somebody who has hate speech, and they take umbrage against that, and they hurt you, well, you're the one that started it. You took umbrage at what they said. You weren't willing to give them the freedom to speak.
So what do you mean?
Not sure.
So you mean, because I would disagree if someone's saying something stupid, hateful or misogynistic, that you should counteract that with anything more than speech.
You shouldn't. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Like you should be able to say. You should be able to say that's wrong.
That's dumb. You're stupid. Fuck you. Get out of my face. You should be able to say all those things.
You should be allowed to.
You should be allowed to. You shouldn't strike them though. No matter how. No matter how stupid they're being.
Nope.
Right?
Like the fellow who
Again, because sometimes people will say things you don't like, and there's not necessarily anything hateful about those things. It's just you don't like them. You're not going to go around smacking everyone that says something you don't like.
No.
Right?
But so in the case of the lady who asked me to drive away, I did not agree with what the man was doing.
Right.
The man was going to take
and even if any reason though, doesn't matter.
No.
If he was doing something right or wrong or nothing at all.
If
he was a complete gentleman and he was out the car and she said drive, you drive.
You drive.
It doesn't matter.
No.
There's no reason why she should be with someone she doesn't want to be around. There's no reason.
Or trust.
Or no, yeah, exactly. No reason.
No.
There's no reason.
If a person says, if two men
doesn't matter.
Get in the
It
car.
doesn't matter about the sexes.
It does not.
It could be the woman outside the car and the guy says drive. It doesn't fucking matter.
No.
Get them out of it. If they don't want to be in that situation, they shouldn't be there.
That's right. And if you have the ability to get them out of that situation,
Then do it.
Yeah.
Just yeah. And it doesn't matter the sex or the age or
No, it
anything.
does not.
Just if they don't want to be there, get them out of there.
Yeah.
If you can.
If you can help another human being get out of a situation that they don't want to be in, but they don't seem to have
The ability to
the
get
ability,
out. Yeah.
then
just help them out.
help them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Agreed.
All right.
This started with taxes.
Yeah. Carbon tax. So it's just this the way it goes.
But so where do we? What we're trying to say is that it's up to the individual.
Not everyone agrees with that.
It should be.
Well, I mean that's your opinion.
Yep. And I am allowed my opinion.
100%.
You are allowed yours.
Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't agree with individuality or personal responsibility. Some people believe that the government should take control of a lot of things, and protect people from their own thoughts. I don't agree with that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't agree with that. But some people do.
They do, because there's
and that's fine, and they're allowed to.
There's a certain religion that, if you confess that what you've done, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know this is a interesting topic for you, but I'm like, where does personal responsibility come into this?
Yeah, that's yeah.
I think that this is a great conversation for you to have when the cameras are off.
No, I'd have it on.
I don't understand. I understand.
We can't get into that now because that's a whole 2 hours on its own. If we want to get into theology and religion and.
But I respect your opinion about things like this because you're coming from that side. I want to know. I want to understand.
Well, that would be another podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
next week,
don't,
tune
and,
in.
And just because I'm a Catholic doesn't necessarily mean I believe or agree with everything the Catholic Church does or all their teachings. I'm a very liberal Catholic, so there's certain things I like and many things I don't.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that. And you know what? Like, as a Catholic, it should be me that's calling them out from inside. I'm part of that. Okay. I'm part of that group.
Yep.
And when I see something that the group's not doing that's good, I should say, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
or I could leave. But I think it's better to stay. Yeah, even though I'm not practicing, right?
And fight from within.
I'm not practicing, but yeah.
Fight from within.
Yeah, fight from within.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're somehow putting your morality or your beliefs or your whatever on the shelf, and you can fight with it from within.
Yeah.
And yeah. I know the confession thing is weird. Yeah. Even as a Catholic.
It's not that I agree or disagree with it.
Fuck, you're getting me into this. Okay, so in the Bible it says the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ.
Right.
That's the Christian belief.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you accept Jesus, you will have salvation. Right? So, I have a problem with that. And my problem with that is you can be a son of a bitch your whole life. An awful, awful person. And when you're dying, if you call in a priest and you accept Jesus Christ as your savior, you will have an entrance to heaven. That's the way I read it. And if anyone wants to tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. But that's the way I read it. And I've got a fucking huge problem with that. Yeah. Why, if a person isn't a Christian, but they live a life that we decide is good, why shouldn't they have a door to heaven if they believed in heaven? But didn't believe in Christ.
So if a person has a horrible life towards others, shall we say?
It's just a bad person, yeah.
But just a bad person. Scummy. Does not treat people well. Murders, kills, rapes.
Whatever, yeah.
On his deathbed, he takes Christ into his heart. That means that you are abdicating the power to God.
Yes.
That God will sort them out. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's I know it's a generalization, folks. Sorry. But it's very much a generalization that you are saying that God will either punish or not that person based on their life, even though they've taken Christ into their heart.
Yeah. The way I read it or understand it is if you do take Christ into your heart, even though you've been a bad person your whole life, you're going to go to the good place. I could be wrong. I could be misreading that. I could be misunderstanding it. But that's the way I understand it. And I've got a problem with that.
I understand your problem.
If there is a good place and a bad place, right?
I understand.
Then a bad person should go to the bad place.
But it's up to the Lord to do that, not you.
Yes. Well, that's true.
Right?
That's true. But again, going back to society has decided that people get punished. We pass judgment on people in our society. Whereas if you're totally if you've totally followed the Christian way is you do not pass judgment on people. Only God can do that.
Right.
But again, we do pass judgment on people. We have judges that literally will put people in jail for their crimes, their sins, if you want. And then once you pay your debt to society, you're free to go. But are you free in the Lord's eyes? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is just the teachings. I'm not saying I believe this. This is just the way I understand it to be taught. Sometimes I say things and people think it's my thought.
Oh,
When it's not my thought, it's other people's thought, and I'm just relaying the message the way I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that's the way I understand it.
yes.
Right? Big difference.
Which we can be lambasted for that.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not saying that this is my opinion. I'm saying this is other people's opinions.
And this is the way.
And I don't believe in that opinion, but they never get, the listener doesn't quite get to that point.
Not always. No,
right?
not always.
We've come down this road before.
We have.
But it's their lack of openness, open-mindedness that leads to the problem. Not you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you don't agree with something I say, you should ask me if that's my opinion or my belief before you give me shit. 'Cause honestly, most of the time, I'm just telling you the way I understand people believe it.
So you can understand why person X believes this.
Yes.
You
like
don't
when
agree
I'm
with
talking
it.
about Christianity, doesn't just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I don't take it completely blindly on faith. I still have questions.
Yes.
I don't necessarily believe that that's right, but that's the way it's taught. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about religion anymore.
No? Okay.
Not today.
So, moving on.
Moving on. We're almost done.
Are we?
We got 2 hours in.
No,
We're going to run out of juice here in a minute.
Oh, that's
I'm
too
surprised
bad.
we went this far. The camera is shining red.
Oh,
So I think we're gonna wrap. And
Okay,
we're gonna do this again.
I would like that.
Yeah,
Because this is much more fun than the last one.
when we were talking only about you.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is about things.
Yeah.
Things are important.
All right.
And they are important.
Yeah.
And if we can reach people who...
And if someone doesn't agree with something we said, I'd love to hear it in the comments.
Yes.
And I'd like to explore ideas. I mean, that's I think what we're doing right now is we're just exploring ideas. I am not 100% convinced that anything I said is factual.
No.
At all.
No.
I'm just not sure. I'd like to try and continue to grow. I'm 51 now. I want to continue to grow until the day I die. And I don't mean in weight. But you know
if we stop learning every day,
yeah, we're done.
once we stop learning,
Yeah.
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah, just don't.
So, having a conversation like this is very interesting. And I mean, unfortunately for us, we're very like-minded, I think, in a lot of ways. So it's hard to actually, clash in the debate to explore the other side's ideas.
But we
I think
surround ourselves.
we kind of did that today a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's difficult, right? Because
is.
we kind of, a lot of the things we believe, we're not 100%, but we're there on a lot of things, right?
Yes.
So it'd be good to have someone here that's totally the other side too.
Oh, we have people who could do that.
Yeah. Because I think you and I are both quite liberal.
I think so. As much as an Alberta boy
Can be.
can be.
I'm definitely. I've always considered myself on the left on many issues.
Right.
Many issues. The only thing that I'm not really on the left on is taxation. But almost everything else, I believe I'm very left. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not.
So what you're saying is you're a small L liberal.
I don't know what that means. I've heard that expression before.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I'm a small C conservative.
Okay.
There are certain things that I think
you're
when
you're not that conservative.
when we say small, right?
I mean, I don't belong to that party. Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
you don't toe the party line.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I mean, it's like you don't.
I mean, if
you
I
don't
lived
toe
in
the
the, if
Catholic line.
if I lived in the right.
Right?
If I lived in the U.S., I would have been voting Democrat most times in my life.
Well, here's the thing.
Most times, not every time, but most times.
I normally vote for the person in my riding
that you like. So you don't vote the party line.
Not at all.
In Canada, I voted for every party.
Well,
not every, but I voted for many different parties, because I've liked the guy that's local my local guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually, for years, I voted Conservative because I hated the Liberals. Thank you, a certain father.
Jesus Christ.
Not mine. But Pierre was a dick. But anyway.
Let's not go there. Don't name any names.
Okay.
We'll do that another time.
We'll do that. Yeah. We will name names
another time.
Another time, yes.
Yeah.
But I think we should end this now.
Yes. My cigar is done. My drink is empty.
Your cigar is done?
This will be burning my fingers, and the room is full of smoke. This fan just doesn't do its job.
No.
It kind of does. It's not horrible in here.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's 350 CFM.
But we are used to cigar
I bet you the rest of the house smells like smoke because I forgot to close the office door.
Oops.
I hope I can get it out before the wife comes home.
A bunch of ladies who are going to question that.
I'm going to go and open every door.
What you should do is light a Lamborghini, also available at Goodfellas Cigar Shop.
Very reasonably priced. Yeah, they actually do work. I think I will light it.
Yeah. All right. I've really appreciated this. This has been a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah, this is good. We're at 2 hours, so that was a nice chat. Yeah, we're just about to run out of power. Hopefully the camera has kept on recording. I think it has. Yeah.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
We will do this again.
Yes, we will. We will.
Yeah.
I got another mic. I'd like to do a three-way. You want to do a three-way with me?
I would love to do a three-way with you.
It's with 2 other guys.
Oh.
Does your barn door swing that way?
Anyway, I think my barn door swings both ways, actually.
On that note, let's end it while we're ahead.
You have yourself a great day.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.